Okay, well, good Monday evening, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is February 10th, 2025, 4:48 p.m., and you're watching The Takeoff. My name is Alex, and yes, we are now in the offseason of the NFL. If you want to, make jokes, you could say that the offseason began with the Jets the first week of November when they went to Arizona and just got blown out after beating the Houston Texans on Halloween. So, it's been a long season for the Jets and the Jet fans. And let's just start with, first of all, the Super Bowl. Yesterday, of course, Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 59, where the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the two-time Super Bowl Kansas City Chiefs. They stopped the three-peat. And people say that's not a good Super Bowl, the halftime show. I mean, people just bitch about everything. Here's the deal. Kansas City went in there. They were not prepared for the defense that the Eagles were putting up. And they were not prepared for the offense that the Eagles were putting up. Basically, you had Saquon Barkley, who I believe had just as many yards in receptions or receiving yards than he did rushing yards. I think he ended up with like 97 total yards. So, you thought you were going in there and you thought you were going to see Saquon Barkley just run all over the team or attempt to run all over the team. They beat them in different ways. They had a pick six against Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes, I believe, was sacked 5 times, threw 2 interceptions. Jalen Hurts threw 1 interception. Mahomes and Kansas City had 1 first down. That came on the first drive of their first play of the game, or the first drive of their offensive game. And that was it until they got into the third quarter. So, if you're a Giants fan and you're saying it was a terrible game, or a Chiefs fan saying it was a terrible game, or a Washington fan, whoever, an NFC East fan saying it was a terrible game because the Eagles won, yes. Giant fans, now you know how us Jet fans felt in 7 and 11 when you and the Patriots played and we had nobody to root for. At least you could kind of root for the Chiefs yesterday if you were a Giant fan. I do know some Giant fans that rooted for Saquon. Super Bowl is over. We move on. Jalen Hurts, MVP. The Eagles are the champions. And now, how do the Jets make headlines if they're not playing in the Super Bowl? Well, you know what they do? About 3 hours before the game actually starts, you get a scoop. You get breaking news on live pregame, Super Bowl pregame show by Jay Glazer that Aaron Rodgers is no longer part of the future of the New York Jets. And that kind of blew up first. It was done live and tweeted by Jay Glazer. And then every network, every social media outlet picked up on it. Texts were coming in to me. I was sending out texts. I don't know what's going on, why they would announce it so early, if that was their plan. There's so many things to look at. And it was funny because my wife and I were talking. We were getting ready, doing snacks and stuff for the game and whatnot. And it's just like the 5 of us. And said something like we went to ShopRite and they have all these balloons out. They have Eagle balloons and Kansas City balloons and, Super Bowl balloons and, sales on chips and sales on mini hot dogs and whatever you're going to serve, sales on different dips and whatnot. And I'm like, it really sucks. The game that I love and, the sport that I loved the most, my team is not even close. It hasn't been close in 15 years to even make it into that game. And, it kind of gets you because you have all these different teams and you want diversity. And you had the Bucks, the year of COVID, and you had the Rams, and you had the Bengals, in the Super Bowl, and you had, the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a few times, and the Eagles in the Super Bowl a few times, and, of course, the Patriots, and the Jets have not been there, and it just hurts. I've lived to see 4 AFC Championship games, okay? 2 of them, which we led in at the half or in the third quarter. One of them, which we were, down by 23 points or 21 points at the half and came back and lost by 4. So do you want to take away the Mud Bowl game, 14-0, a slop fest, whatever? But that's as close as we've gotten. And it just hurts because this is my sport. This is the sport I love. Yes, I'm a big Yankee fan. Yes, I love the Rangers. I've seen them win. Even though the Rangers has been 31 years this year, I've seen the Yankees win multiple times in my lifetime. I've seen the Rangers win and get to the conference finals a few times. It's this team that, I live and die for. That we have the house, the jet room in, and where we watch the games, and, the shirts and the car and whatnot. And we have not even sniffed close to a Super Bowl in 15 years. So it hurts. So as a Giant fan, if you think watching Saquon Barkley win the trophy yesterday, I get it. But you got to remember us in 07 and 11, we saw your team play the Patriots. Now I know you're not our arch rivals, but we have that, they say the big brother, little brother thing. You kill that by winning. But who do we root for with a Patriots-Giants game in the Super Bowl? Twice, So I have to say one thing. Saquon, from what I know, is a class act. When he was on the Giants, I think it was 2020, it was just before COVID, the Jets had a game against the Giants, a home game, and I had field passes with my daughters. And Barkley was probably like 24, probably 23, 24. And he came out pregame, and before he went in after warm-ups, he stopped and took pictures and selfies and signed for probably 200 people, 150 people, without a doubt. He was actually coming off an injury that year, and the Jets held him, I think, to like less than 20 yards rushing. I think maybe he had like 10 yards rushing, if anything. And I really felt for him, and I'm like, this guy, coming off this injury, he's not going to be back. And lo and behold, he gets, 2,000 yards or so this year rushing, and he wins the Lombardi Trophy. So congrats to him. But getting back to the Jets, I went off on a tangent there a little bit because I'm talking about the Super Bowl. But getting back to the Jets. So the report is Aaron Rodgers flew in to speak to leadership on the Jets to find out what the plan was. Now, details of the meeting have not been revealed, of course, because Jet leadership won't reveal what was said, and Aaron Rodgers probably won't reveal what was said unless he reveals it on the Pat McAfee show. Last week he was at a golf outing, and he said that when he meets with the Jets, he'll find out what the deal is, and he'll, make arrangements from then. So you could only wonder, was it that the Jets went in there knowing that they didn't want him back? Did Aaron Glenn know? Did Woody Johnson tell Aaron Glenn? Which scares me, because back 2 weeks ago today, Woody Johnson said he needs to be a better owner, and that's fine. But if he's going to make the calls, then he hasn't really changed much. And I know you can't change in 2 weeks, but I would like this to be Aaron Glenn's team and make Aaron Glenn put his stamp on this team. Now, it's a little cold out here, even though it looks gorgeous out with the sun. If you want to read the tea leaves, read between the lines, whatever cliche you want to use, after Aaron Glenn's introductory press conference, he was walking through the facility and he was meeting with reporters, and somebody said something about Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know perspective, when you're going to meet with him, and is he part of the plan? And he came out and said, no one person is above the team. So was that already preemptive that he wasn't coming back? Was that just, what he was telling the media? Hey fans, listen, this is a team game. It's not just about Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Did they meet over the weekend and they said to Aaron Rodgers, listen, we'd like to have you back? Aaron Rodgers said, I'll take a pay cut. I'll mentor a young quarterback. Okay, great. We don't want you to go on Pat McAfee anymore. You know what? We don't want you to miss OTAs. Now, I get it. He missed, I think, 2 days of OTAs because he had a trip scheduled to Egypt. You can look at this so many ways. The first way you look at it is you're a damn professional. You know when OTAs are. You've been in the league 20 years. You don't plan a trip to Egypt in March, April, or May, whatever the frig it was. Okay? You do it around the OTAs. I'm driving into work this morning, and ESPN, one of the guys goes, well, when he told Salah should have moved the OTAs. Hell no. Again, you don't put him above the team. It should have been worked out behind closed doors. Aaron, listen, we can't move the OTAs. These are the dates of the OTAs. Okay? Can you move your trip? I'm sure you can pay the penalty for canceling. Sure you can afford it. Or, hey, Aaron, listen, we are going to change the dates of OTAs, but we're not going to make it public. We're not going to tell the team. Okay, we're going to reschedule. But we expect you there. Okay? You want to lead by example, you lead by example. His resume, his pedigree, his history should not dictate what he does and what he does not do. Okay? But the Jets needed him. He was coming off the rehabbed Achilles. This was it. They were all in. Everything that went to hell the year before on September 11th at Monday night after 4 friggin' offensive plays was all boiling down to this year. And you know what? He won 5 games with the team. Okay? Zach Wilson won 7 the year prior. Zach Wilson beat the Eagles the year prior. Okay? Now, yes, Zach Wilson had terrible games. But there were some games that he showed why he could be a quarterback. Now, yes, he is a third string now. But it goes back to Aaron Rodgers. They put him above everything. And, okay, listen, if he hoisted up the Lombardi Trophy yesterday, it's all worth it. But you know what he hoisted yesterday? Gots. He hoisted. Okay? He didn't hoist anything. He either watched a game or he didn't watch a game from wherever he was, along with the rest of the Jet personnel, along with the rest of the Jet leaders and teammates or whatever, where they watched it. You know, you want to think maybe Aaron Glenn was working. I actually think so. Because... I mean, that's just the vibe I get from him. You know, maybe he catches highlights. Maybe it's on in the background. You know. So you don't know what went on in that meeting. Was it premeditated that he wasn't coming back? Did he go in there and give them demands? Now, you got to remember, when he came here 2 years ago, Cobb, Lazard, Cook, I forgot, Nathaniel Hackett, okay? He pulled his friends in. He wanted Green Bay East there, and hey, listen, they're going to teach us. They're going to teach Garrett Wilson. You know what? Garrett Wilson, reports are he doesn't want to play with Aaron Rodgers anymore. You know, could it be that Aaron Glenn looked at Garrett Wilson and said, you know what, this kid could be here another 6 to 8 seasons. Aaron Rodgers could be another season, and we're not guaranteed anything. We're not guaranteed anything with anybody, but maybe with Aaron Glenn, but maybe with Garrett Wilson, we get that receiver that we need. You know, does it spiral down that Devontae Adams doesn't play for the team? You know, there's so much that goes around this announcement, and what I don't like about the announcement is now you showed your hand. So now every team that's looking for him is going to wait for him to be released, and if you try to trade for him, you know that they're going to downball you, or lowball you, I should say, as much as they could. Okay? That's number one. Number two, and I said this with my wife yesterday, as we were talking about, I started off talking about the game and the Jets, and, you know, I know the record Aaron Rodgers had. I know he was beat up early. I know he came up with horrific, injury. Who else out there is a better option for us at quarterback right now? And that's what I want to know. What does the Jet leadership see out there that is a better option than Aaron Rodgers? You know, do they feel that they can lure Sam Darnold back here? New coach, a better offensive line, a new philosophy, and a new GM, because the GM promised, Sam Darnold's parents that he was going to get him, protection to help him on the line. So does Sam Darnold come back with the confidence? Okay, and speaking of confidence, Mekhi Becton, drafted by the Jets, first round. It was a COVID draft. I remember watching it in my parents' house. And I just said, look at this guy. Look at the size of this guy. Look at him. He's going to protect Sam Darnold. He's going to protect Zach Wilson or whoever he was going to get. And I think out of 3 seasons on the Jets, I think he played a half a full season combined. Riddled with injuries, overweight, out of shape. And he worked and he went to the Eagles. And last night he cried on his coach's shoulders. And a little bit of me was annoyed. A little bit of me was good for you. You reached the epitome. Who would have thought 5 years ago you would have said Becton would be in the Super Bowl? Would say, really? He's just drafted. He's got to be on the Jets when he's in the Super Bowl. Okay? They actually interviewed him prior to the game during the week. And somebody said to him, you came here, you rejuvenated your career. What is the difference between where you came from and here? Meaning, what's the difference between the Eagles and the Jets? And didn't kill the Jets with anything. I know they said he put up memes yesterday or something. I don't know what it was. But didn't say anything other than confidence. The Eagles have confidence. We have confidence here. That speaks volumes. Okay? Volumes that this fan base, that this team, that there's nobody's confident. You go on Twitter, everybody's bitching and complaining. They're arguing. You find out that there's leaks in the locker room. You find out that your quarterback doesn't get along with this one. This guy doesn't get. That can't be. Quinnen Williams, who I like a lot, didn't have a great year this year. He took a step back this year, I think. Put up a post yesterday, put up a tweet. Guess it's another rebuilding year for me. I mean, I understand you're not used to losing like this, but 2 weeks ago you putting up, happy signs when they hired Aaron Glenn. So what is the difference now? Is Aaron Rodgers that much of a difference maker on this team? Okay, going into next year, how many games will they have won with Aaron Rodgers? How many games are they going to win with whoever they bring in? And the thing is, who are they going to bring in? I mean, the question marks on this team have not changed in 8 years. Who is going to be the quarterback of this team? And that is what drives me crazy. It's wash, rinse, dry, repeat. Wash, rinse, from Mark Sanchez. I could go through him again. Geno Smith. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. You're going to tell me with 2 first-round picks, a number 2 and a number 3 quarterback pick, okay? Geno Smith, an early second-round pick, and a Hall of Fame, 2-time All-Pro, whoever, and Super Bowl champion. Jets didn't make the playoffs once? Didn't sniff the playoffs? It's crazy. But anyway, that's where we are, February 10th, okay? I think we're about 2.5 months away from the draft. The mock drafts now are going to be crazy. The trades are going to be off the wall. Twitter's going to be crazy. All you can do is put the trust in Aaron Glenn, his GM, his coaching staff, and any other leadership that's dealing with this to build this team, that they're doing the right thing. That's all you could do. You can't control this this outcome. You can't. We are not part of the team in that capacity. I mean, you get the arguments for both sides. The Jets got Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to sell jerseys. And I wasn't sure about that, but I looked it up. The NFL shares jerseys and merchandise, jersey sales. I don't know if they do all merchandise as a whole. So yes, if you have the highest selling jersey, it makes your team popular. Doesn't make you any more money in the jersey sales. Okay? Also, do you really think at the end of the day that the coaches, the owners sit back and go, how much money can we make on jerseys? You're talking billionaires, okay? You're talking multi-millionaires. You think they're worried about jerseys being sold? No, they're worried about making a profit. They make a profit every year, but they'll make more of a profit if their team is successful if their team gets the recognition, if their team is in the public eye in a positive way, on the back pages in a positive way, they don't make money or as much money by losing. But let's be honest, they make money, okay? You're still going to go to the game, you're still going to buy tickets, or most of you are still going to buy tickets, you're still going to pay, for this or that, and they're going to make money. The ownership is not in it to lose money. Now, there are different owners. You don't have a George Steinbrenner. The Mets now have Cohen. He seems to be spending money and bringing in people. But if they fail, is it their fault? So this theory that Woody Johnson just cares about money, I don't think that's true. I just think that Woody Johnson needs to put more football people in place and make decisions than what he has in the past. Okay, I could go on and on. I remember when Bill Parcells came to the Jets. Okay, he took on a team that was 1-15, and the first thing he did when he got to the facility was ask the owner, then Leon Hess, "Where is your indoor practice facility?" I mean, you got to remember, they played in Long Island, practicing on Long Island, outside. We don't have one. You're going to need one. First thing Leon Hess did was build an indoor practice facility. Okay? Sorry, just looking for traffic and for ice here. You got Woody Johnson built a state-of-the-art facility in Florham Park. So they were both willing to spend the money. Okay? This whole thing about the shared stadium, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. The Rams and the Chargers share a stadium. Okay? Win. Just win. You have a home field advantage. That Thursday night game on September whatever, the third game of the year, the home opener this year, you couldn't find a Patriot fan, or you couldn't find a group of Patriot fans in the stands. My whole section, 98%, 99% of my section were Jet fans. My whole row, the rows in front of me, Jet fans. So the home field advantage is there. I think the Jets have some talent on the team, but they need to improve. Need to improve in a lot of areas. But that's, what Aaron Glenn and his GM and his coaching staff need to build now. Okay? I think also they brought in a game manager as well to help with clock management. That was something that Herm Edwards had a few years back when he was here, or 20 years ago when he was here. So there is little tweaks that they're making. They know it's not a perfect thing. I think Aaron Glenn didn't come here to fail. I don't think anybody comes here to fail. But I think he came here with a little chip on his shoulder. He is coming back home. But, some homecomings don't have a happy ending. We have to see. We have to see what happens. And the first thing we have to see is the way this offseason goes. And the next 3 or 4 months is huge. Before you know it, we're going to be at OTAs and minicamp. Before you know it. It's crazy. The draft is in like 80 days, 70 days. Okay? I believe the free agency market opens up in March. So it's there. It's there for us to make the moves. It's there for the coaching staff and leadership to put their plan together. We just have to wait and see. So if you want to bitch and complain, hey, that is your prerogative. That is your right. The same way I have my right to do this podcast. But let's be realistic, okay? You love this team. I love this team. I'm done fed up with this team. Yeah, until they start winning again. Until they put together a plan. Okay, there are so many things that can happen. Now, just quickly before I end this video, could you imagine Aaron Rodgers going to the Giants? Right? And being successful there for a year. A gap quarterback. Imagine Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. I don't know if him and Tomlin would work out together. Aaron Rodgers with Pete Carroll. I don't know. Sam Darnold to the Giants, Sam Darnold to the Jets. There is so much that could happen. So let's just sit back and see. Enjoy the calmness, I guess, until everything happens. And take it from there. So anyway, you are watching The Takeoff. My name is Alex. Please subscribe to my video. You could go on YouTube. The name of the YouTube account is The Takeoff. The YouTube channel is The Jets Takeoff. Twitter, at The Jets Takeoff is our Twitter handle. Email me, thejets.takeoff@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm stupid. Put comments here. You know, I'm a big boy. I could take it. And listen, eventually something good will happen. Ask the Red Sox. Ask the Cubs. Ask the Rangers. Okay? Ask the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ask the Patriots. Remember the Patriots used to play in aluminum stands in the old stadium, and they were just as bad as the Jets? It could change. Again, you're watching the Takeoff. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a blessed week, whichever you say it, and I'll talk to you soon.